The industry doesn't need programmers anymore. At least not the kind we have been training for the last 20 years. Writing code has become cheap. It's basically free. What we are seeing is total split. The act of typing code is no longer the same thing as building a system. If your only value is knowing Spring boilerplate or React hooks, congratulations! You have become the most expensive text editor in your company history. We don't have a shortage of coders. We have too many. What we actually lack are people who take responsibility. AI can generate 1,000 lines of perfect-looking code in seconds. But you are the only one who pays the price when that code crashes the database or leaks customer data. Code is free, but accountability has never been more expensive. So, if the cost of code is zero, why are we still so anxious? The answer is that we are all lying to ourselves about what our job actually is. The numbers don't lie. 84% of engineers use AI daily, yet only 3% report high trust in the output. Among seniors and architects, that trust level is even lower. Why the gap? Because an LLM is a confidence machine, not a true machine. It's statistically based toward looking correct, even when it's fundamentally broken. It's designed to sound convincing while constructing an elegant memory leak or subtle race condition that only triggers under high load. This lack of trust is survival instinct. While AI writes at light speed, it writes only for the immediate present. It is the infinite junior, churning out logic without single second of foresight. It doesn't know that the clever optimization it just suggested will make the codebase impossible to test in 6 months. We are entering the area of write-only code. If you can debug a line of code in your head in 30 seconds, you don't own it. It owns you. The product engineer knows that the most valuable code is often the code you refuse to write. But the real threat isn't that AI writes bad codes. The real threat is the silent architecture killer that no one is talking about. The one that will make your system impossible to maintain in 12 months, even for an army of bots. I will explain how to neutralize it when we get to the bulkhead strategy. In software engineering, the rule 10-to-1 has always applied. Reading and understanding code takes 10 times longer than writing it. AI is flooding our system with more code than we have the time to actually check. You have fallen into review trap. You have become the person who spent all day just checking the machine homework. The only way to survive is to stop being a coder and start being a product engineer. The classic developer waits for ticket, asks how, and spent 3 days optimizing code for feature that shouldn't exist. That's empty engineering. The product engineer asks why. They solve for friction, not functions. If they will get a request for complex dashboard, they don't ask for charting library. They ask, why does the user need this? If the goal is just status check, the product engineer deletes the ticket and triggers a push notification instead. That's 2 weeks of work saved. 0 lines for code to maintain, that's the real seniority. But making that choice requires something AI will never have: experience from past failures. Seniority isn't title you will get for time served. It's the muscle memory of the 48 hours outage caused by minor config change. It's the instinct that tells you that library is bloated before you even run the install command. But we are losing the struggle. If you use AI for every single function, you are just a visitor of your code base. You don't actually speak the language of the system. You won't see the disaster coming until everything is already on fire. To lead in 2026, you must use AI as reviewer, not a ghostwriter. Don't ask it to write it. Ask it to break my logic or find the edge cases in my design. Force the struggle. That struggle is what builds the only thing AI can't copy, your insider knowledge. AI has reached the entire internet, but it has zero access to your company's secret. It doesn't know that your CEO hates a 2-second lag on the login screen because of lost deal in 2019. It doesn't know that your legal department forbids data residency in certain regions. It doesn't know the why behind your architecture. I will show you the 2026 protocol at the end, the first step to think like product engineer. But first, you need to understand why your insider knowledge is your only real job security. For example, AI knows how to implement a standard JVT authentication. It doesn't know that 3 years ago your lead architects used custom header because a specific quirk in staging environment. If you let the machine clean that code to follow best practices, you break the production build. That messy line of code is there for historical reason. The machine can't see. Your job is to be historian of those decisions. You are the bridge between business house and technical constraints. Owning the why is the only way to own the results. Context alone won't save you if your architecture is bad of mood. In the AI area, good code doesn't mean pretty, it means isolated. Elegance was for humans. Engineering is for systems. You must define the boundaries, the interfaces, and the contracts. Then, let machine fill the implementation. If the AI logic explodes, and it will, your architecture must contain that file within single module. Build your system like submarine with bulkheads. Stop wasting time checking every single line of code. Start checking the boundaries between your modules. This fundamentally changed the definition of speed. Senior velocity is no longer about how fast you can write a prompt. It's about how much complexity you can strip away before you even touch the keyboard. Your value is found in the hours you spend not coding, refining a problem until the implementation becomes a trivial. AI is a chainsaw. A master uses it to build a house in 2 days. An amateur just create a mess 10 times faster. Prompting is easy. Controlling the blast radius is where the seniority lies. We measure this with simple formula. If you add more complexity than value, your velocity is negative, no matter how many tickets you close. This level of leverage demands new kind of engineer. For years, the industry told you to be specialist, be the React guy, or be the SQL expert. In 2026, that specialization is bullseye on your back. But here is the secret. The M-shaped engineer is not a new concept. It's just the return to first principles. You could never be a great front-end engineer by just knowing React. You could never be a great back-end engineer by only knowing Django. Those are just frameworks, temporary skin over permanent patterns. If you understand the event loop in Python, you already understand how Node.js works under the hood. The syntax change. The physics of software stay the same. The M-shaped architects is not shallow. They have deep expertise in core pillars like concurrency, data integrity, and networking. Because they understand the patterns, they can use AI as a bridge to related domains. You aren't replacing a 5-man team, you're eliminating the synchronization task. You are removing the friction of hands-offs and meetings. Syntax is a commodity. If your identity is tied to framework, you are legacy code. Starting tomorrow, you are arbiter of results. Before you open your IDE, you implement the protocol. Now, there are always exceptions. Technical outliners that require a different lens, and we won't cover those today. But for the core of your work, the protocol is absolute. For every ticket, you ask 3 brutal questions. 1 to the PM. Which specific business metrics does this move? If the answer is none, kill the ticket. Don't build what is needed. 2. For the machine. Generate the implementation, but only within my boundaries. Do not let AI design the system. Only the logic. 3. To yourself. Is this isolated? If this implementation fails in production, does my bulkhead hold? The moment you care more about the integrity of your architecture than the aesthetics of your functions, you have become a product engineer. The market is splitting. Group 1, the machine operators. They will deliver tickets faster than ever, proud of the 500 lines per hour, until the company realizes that they don't need an engineer to run a $20 prompt. Group 2, they are architects of results. The people who aren't afraid to delete the code, the ones who owns the context. Syntax is dead, engineering has just begun. Start building bulkheads or go down with your code.